Hey, this is Rachel. Oh my god. So, um, it is Friday. It's day 12 of my pre-op diet. Um, I'm so mad. I'm still mad. I'm mad. Um, let's start with what I ate. Um, Nothing. I've had a lot of water today. I had to fast this morning, um, because of, the blood they were going to draw today. So I didn't eat before the doctor's appointment, and then after the doctor's appointment, with everything that happened and whatever, I've just been so sick over it that I just haven't eaten. I'm not even hungry, mostly just mad. Um, it okay. I started searching YouTube for videos of people whose surgery was postponed or delayed or rescheduled. And Kay Luther 613 is her name's Kayla, and she has a really good video. It's her second video that she made about her gastric bypass being rescheduled, and she kind of totally explains how I feel about it. Because most people on here whose videos about their surgery being rescheduled, it's because of things that are like their fault. Like they chickened out and decided, they weren't going to do it, and then they decided they were going to do it and they got a new date, or they couldn't stop smoking, and so nicotine showed up in their testing and then they had to get a new date, or I don't know, just like health problem things and stuff. And hers wasn't something that was anything she could control. Her surgeon had a death in the family, and he had to fly home to India to take care of that, and so her surgery got postponed for 3 weeks. And so it was something that wasn't her fault, and that really wasn't anybody's fault. There was a death in the family, and that happens. In my case, if mine does get rescheduled, it is essentially my surgeon's fault, or the whole doctor's office, hospital's fault, totally overall. Because I've been telling them from the very beginning about this. I told them on Monday at my appointment, and they were like, "Oh, that's fine. It'll be fine." Um, so the anesthesiologist at the hospital said it would not be fine. My surgeon said it would be fine. And this is essentially the difference, if you don't understand what's going on, is that not me, but my mother is mulling the hypothermic to anesthesia. And that means that when anesthesia is used on her, there is a possibility that her muscles, it's a muscle disorder, and her muscles could start spasming, and then there's a drug they have to use to counteract it that does work, but they have to use a very, very strong drug of this dosage of this drug, and it has to be readily available in the operating room in case you do have that reaction. This is a genetic disorder, and so they assume because she has it that I have it. I've never been tested for it, which would be possibly fixing this whole situation. So I don't really know why I've never been tested for it, but I've never been tested for it, and so they always just assume that I have it. And so they don't do anything differently. They do everything exactly the same as they would any other bypass patient surgery. They're still going to use the same anesthesia. The only thing that's different is you're supposed to be the first surgery of the day, because the room has been cleared overnight of all the anesthesia gases that are in the air, so that when they do my surgery, I'll only have my anesthesia. There won't be the extra anesthesia gases that are in the air to make it a higher risk of that possibly happening, because there's more anesthesia involved. So that's the only difference, and that they'll have that drug readily available in case that should happen. So in my opinion, at this point, if it is an option, I would be totally willing to sign a consent form that said, sorry, I thought my dog was chewing on the computer cord. I would be totally willing to sign a consent form that said, I understand that by not having the first surgery of the day, there are anesthesia gases in the air which make it more likely for me to have malignant hypothermic to anesthesia reaction. I don't care. Do it anyway. Like, I don't care. Because I've never had a reaction to anesthesia. My mom did. There's no proof that I have this disorder. Um, and and honestly, the only difference is going to be is that these gases are in the air from previous surgeries, so it makes it a slightly higher chance that this thing that could happen anyways might happen. Makes it a slightly higher chance that it might happen. Um, and maybe that's my surgeon's point, is that they should just do it anyway. I don't know. But anyways, they said that unless someone calls me and tells me otherwise, that I should assume my surgery is still at 12 o'clock on Monday and to be there at 10 o'clock. Today was Friday. It is 6:38 now, so I'm pretty sure their offices are closed and no one has called me. So I'm going to go through this whole weekend not really knowing for sure if my surgery is on Monday or not. And it's kind of playing with my mind because I'm nervous about surgery, but I don't even know if I'm like wasting time being nervous because it might not even be as close as I think it is. And I'm just mad. And the other thing is like one thing that Kayla Luther talks about in her video is how she imagined herself like, oh, well, when it's, 1 month from then, I might look like this, or I might have lost this much weight. And I've totally done that. Like, I have my summer vacation plan, and I've been like, oh, well, that's 7 weeks post-op, so I'll be able to eat regular food, and I should be okay, and I might be this size at the beach, and all this stuff. And like, I know when I just know when different things are happening this summer, and I imagine myself being certain ways at them. And I'm like a super planny person, so I have this planner. Hold on. My planner. And all over my planner, every week after surgery, on every Monday, it says 1 week post-op, 2 weeks post-op, 3 weeks post-op, 4 weeks post-op. And every month on the 21st, it says 1 month post-op, 2 months post-op, 3 months post-op, all the way through the end of my calendar, because I just had it set in my mind that that's how it was. And it might still be, and maybe I'm even wasting time like worrying about it and making these videos about how mad I am, and it won't even be changed. But it's a possibility, and I'm just annoyed. But anyways, I have other things to make this video about on positive notes. I made a list of the things this morning that I planned on talking about on this video. And I'm already at 8 minutes, so this might be kind of long, and I apologize. I wanted to thank everybody who made video responses or sent me messages or put replies on my video from I believe it was day 9, where I talked about why I'm doing this. And I talked about my breaking point, and like, obviously I'm doing this so that I can be healthier and happier. But I talked about the one thing that really made me be like, I'm really overweight, and my life shouldn't go like this. And a lot of people have left comments about their story and about what their breaking point was and what the turning point was for them when they were like, I gotta do something. And I really appreciate that, because that's really personal, and I connect with every single one of you who have done that for me, because I understand what that feels like, and so I really appreciate that. And I think that it helps us mentally to go back and figure out what that one moment was that you really were like, I gotta do something, So I just wanted to say thank you for that. And then I also wanted to talk about, let me grab my list. I wanted to talk about what I'm packing for the hospital. My list right now for the hospital is to wear loose clothing, take earplugs to drown out the beeping machines, to take chapstick for a dry mouth, to take mouthwash and my toothbrush and toothpaste, because I've heard lots of people say that was kind of their only escape from like the nastiness that their mouth gets when you like can't drink, and like you get a little bit of water to wash that out and stuff. My phone charger, my CPAP machine, some of that dry spray shampoo in case I don't get a shower the first day and I just feel nasty or whatever, and like a hair tie. Those are the things that I have planned to take to the hospital right now. If you can think of anything else I would need, you can let me know. That's cool. Um, I also have to take the spirometer. I think that's what it's called, the little breathing machine that they gave me today. I'll have to take that with me. And I guess that's it. I also have a list of the stuff that I'm taking to my mom and dad's for the next like week, and I guess I could kind of read that to you, but my vitamins, milk and magnesia, my webcam, my laptop, and my charger, those little jello molds, my jello and pudding mix, my protein powders, my blender bottle, my water bottle, soups, sugar-free popsicles, food journal, Greek yogurt, the little ramekins I bought, my pill crusher, my pill holder, those Palmer's lotions I talked about, my fiber, my shampoo, conditioner, face wash, a strainer for my soup, the baby spoon, Italian ices, weight loss surgery books, loose clothing, and my cans of V8 juice. Um, so those are the things that I'm planning on I might need in the first week. Um, oh, and I did have one last thing to talk about, and this is kind of a female thing. So guys, and I don't even know if any guys watch me besides maybe like Keith, but um, if you're watching this, you can turn it off now. You don't have to. It's not like nasty. I'm just, um, girls who have, especially if you have polycystic ovarian syndrome, you know that if you are really overweight, then that can cause you to not have a menstrual cycle. And I have not had a period since September of 2011. But being on this pre-op diet and losing weight, I guess that kind of like pushed me back into having them. So I just started mine last night, and I was a little concerned about being in the hospital and being on my period when I would have like the catheter and not be able to get up and go to the bathroom on my own and stuff like that. And so I was wondering, and you don't have to post a comment about this, you can just message me if this was true for you and you want to like give me advice or whatever. But I was wondering if anybody went into surgery while they were on their period, and like how that went as far as going to the bathroom and being cleaned up and all that kind of stuff. So, and maybe that was a little nasty. Sorry if any guys made it this far. Um, but anyways, so I guess that's really all I had to talk about. Um, I will let you guys know if I hear anything about my surgery being changed. Like I said, at this point, I'm just really afraid that I'm going to go through this whole weekend thinking that my surgery is on Monday and being so close, and then them calling me on Monday morning and saying, oh, we had to reschedule because whatever. Or even me like getting to the hospital and, being like ready for surgery and then being like, oh, we meant to call you. We can't do it. Or, whatever. That's kind of my fear right now. Um, but I really appreciate everybody who commented on that last video and who gave me advice about it and who is praying for me and keeping their fingers crossed and that kind of stuff. I really appreciate it. The one thing everybody jumped to was stay on your pre-op diet, don't freak out. And I love that about this community because that is totally like, it totally crossed my mind. I was like, well, F this, like, I have been on this pre-op diet for all this time and have been struggling and crying over pizza and all this stuff, and it might not even be that soon, like. And so and I'm an emotional eater, and it totally crossed my mind to be like, I'm emotional, I'm gonna eat, but I didn't, and I appreciate everybody who was like, don't do that, stay on your pre-op diet, it'll work out. But anyways, so thank you for that, and I will let you know if I hear anything. If nothing else, I will be checking in with you sometime tomorrow to let you know how my diet goes tomorrow. I'm sure I'll eat something at some point today. I don't know. I'm probably gonna take a nap or go to bed or something soon. I'm just like emotionally exhausted from the entire day. I'm helping my grandparents move tomorrow, and I also did that today some. So I don't know how much time I'll have to really eat very much, but I'll probably get up and have a shake in the morning, and then I don't know. I'll shake tomorrow. Or, I mean, later in the afternoon. I don't know. I don't know right now. I'm really thirsty. I'm about to go get some water and maybe go to bed because I'm over it. But anyways, thanks for everybody just being supportive of this and like sticking with me through it. And I will check in with you tomorrow. Bye.